Why has nobody solved the Voynich Manuscript? Imagine opening a book that no one on Earth can read. Not because it is written in an ancient language, not because parts of it are missing, but because every word inside appears to belong to a language that has never existed. Its pages are filled with elegant handwriting, beautiful illustrations, strange plants that grow nowhere on Earth, constellations unlike any found in modern astronomy, mysterious diagrams connected by circles and stars, and countless figures bathing in pools of green liquid beneath impossible machines. For more than 500 years, this extraordinary manuscript has challenged some of the greatest minds in history: cryptographers, linguists, historians, mathematicians, computer scientists, even artificial intelligence. None has been able to fully explain it. Its name is the Voynich Manuscript, and many consider it the most mysterious book ever written. But what makes it so unusual is not simply that nobody can read it. It is that, despite centuries of study, experts still cannot agree on what it actually is. A forgotten scientific encyclopedia? A secret code? A medieval medical guide? An elaborate hoax? Or the last surviving record of a language that disappeared long ago? The story begins in the early 20th century. In 1912, a Polish rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich purchased a collection of old manuscripts from a Jesuit college in Italy. Among them was one book unlike anything he had ever seen. Bound in worn vellum and filled with mysterious illustrations, it immediately caught his attention. Every page was covered with flowing characters that resembled real writing. The symbols repeated in recognizable patterns. Words appeared to follow consistent grammatical rules. Paragraphs were carefully organized. Nothing about it looked random. Yet no scholar could identify the language. Voynich believed he had discovered something extraordinary. He spent years trying to determine its origin. As news spread, the manuscript attracted experts from across Europe and America. Some claimed it had been written by the famous philosopher Roger Bacon. Others suggested it came from secret alchemists during the Renaissance. Every new theory generated excitement. Every investigation created more questions than answers. Eventually, modern science entered the mystery. Radiocarbon dating revealed that the parchment itself was produced in the early 15th century. The ink appeared consistent with materials used during that period. This was not a modern forgery. Whatever the manuscript was, it had existed for more than 600 years. Its pages seemed carefully organized into different sections. One contained hundreds of drawings of plants. At first glance, they resembled medieval herbal guides. But there was one enormous problem. Most of the plants did not exist. Some appeared to combine leaves from one species, roots from another, and flowers from a third. Were these imaginary plants, poor illustrations, or species that had never been identified? Another section focused on astronomy. Circular diagrams filled the pages. Stars, suns, moons, constellations. Some looked vaguely familiar. Others seemed entirely unknown. Then came perhaps the strangest illustrations of all. Dozens of small female figures, many unclothed, standing inside interconnected pools, linked by elaborate networks of pipes and tubes. Some researchers suggested they represented medicinal baths. Others believed they symbolized the human body. No explanation satisfied everyone. The manuscript seemed to shift constantly between medicine, astronomy, biology, and symbolism. Yet the writing remained stubbornly silent. Throughout the 20th century, some of the world's greatest codebreakers attempted to unlock its secrets. Men and women who had deciphered military communications during global wars. Experts who had broken complex encrypted messages thought impossible to solve. Many approached the Voynich Manuscript with confidence. Most left frustrated, because the text behaved like a real language. Certain words appeared frequently, others appeared rarely. Patterns repeated exactly as they do in ordinary human writing. But whenever someone believed they had found the key, The translation quickly collapsed. Nothing remained consistent. Even the arrival of powerful computers failed to solve the puzzle. Algorithms analyzed thousands of character combinations. Statistical models searched for hidden structures. Machine learning compared the manuscript against hundreds of known languages. Still, no definitive answer emerged. That may be the most astonishing part of the entire mystery. We live in an age where artificial intelligence can translate dozens of languages in seconds. Yet one small, handwritten book from the 15th century continues to resist every attempt to understand it. Which raises an extraordinary possibility. What if the greatest mystery isn't hidden inside the illustrations, but inside the language itself? Because before anyone can understand what the manuscript says, they must first answer an even more fundamental question. Was it ever meant to be read at all? If the Voynich Manuscript has resisted every attempt to decode it for more than 5 centuries, one obvious question remains. What if it was never meant to be decoded? Over the years, researchers have proposed dozens of theories. Some are grounded in historical evidence, others drift into speculation. Together, they form one of the most fascinating intellectual puzzles in history. One possibility is that the manuscript is written in a real but unknown language. History is filled with languages that have disappeared forever. Entire civilizations have vanished, taking their writing systems with them. If the last speakers are gone, and no bilingual translation survives, understanding the text becomes almost impossible. This happened with several ancient scripts before modern archaeology finally uncovered the keys to decipher them. Could the Voynich Manuscript preserve the final traces of a forgotten language? It is certainly possible. Yet there is a problem. Real languages usually leave clues. Similar alphabets, recognizable names, historical references, borrowed words. The Voynich Manuscript offers almost none of these. Its writing appears completely isolated, as though it belongs to a world entirely of its own. Another theory suggests the manuscript is encrypted, not written in an unknown language, but in a familiar language hidden behind an elaborate code. Secret codes were not unusual during the Middle Ages. Kings, diplomats, merchants, and religious leaders often protected important information through ciphers. If the Voynich text is encrypted, perhaps the original language is hiding beneath every strange symbol. Generations of cryptographers have tested this idea. Simple substitution ciphers, complex polyalphabetic systems, mathematical transformations, computer-generated decoding models. None has produced a translation accepted by the wider scientific community. Every promising breakthrough eventually encounters contradictions that cannot be explained. Then there is another intriguing possibility. Perhaps the manuscript is not primarily about words at all. Perhaps the illustrations carry the real meaning. Throughout medieval Europe, many books combined text with symbolic images, understood only by specific groups. Alchemists, physicians, and religious scholars often used visual symbols alongside written descriptions. Some researchers believe the Voynich Manuscript may function more like a visual encyclopedia than an ordinary book. The strange plants, the astronomical diagrams, the bathing figures, the circular charts. Each may represent ideas that readers of its own time immediately understood. But centuries later, those cultural references may have vanished, leaving us with beautiful images and missing context. Of course, no discussion of the Voynich Manuscript would be complete without addressing the most controversial theory of all. What if it is an elaborate hoax? What if someone simply invented a fake language to create the illusion of hidden knowledge? At first, this explanation sounds surprisingly reasonable. History contains many famous frauds. Forged relics, counterfeit manuscripts, invented discoveries. Human beings have always been capable of remarkable deception. But once again, the evidence complicates the story. Creating hundreds of pages of convincing nonsense is far more difficult than it sounds. The text follows statistical patterns remarkably similar to natural human languages. Certain words appear where grammar suggests they should. Others cluster into meaningful structures. Repeated phrases behave consistently throughout the manuscript. Randomly generated nonsense usually lacks this level of organization. Even modern computer programs struggle to reproduce the same linguistic complexity without accidentally introducing obvious patterns or complete chaos. If the manuscript is a hoax, it is an extraordinarily sophisticated one. In recent years, artificial intelligence has entered the investigation. Machine learning systems have analyzed the manuscript in ways impossible only decades ago. Algorithms compare its structure with hundreds of historical languages. Neural networks search for hidden relationships between symbols. Statistical models identify repeating sequences invisible to the human eye. Some studies suggest faint similarities to known linguistic families. Others argue the writing behaves unlike any language ever recorded. So far, AI has not solved the mystery. Instead, it has revealed something even more interesting. The manuscript is almost certainly not random. Someone followed consistent rules while creating it. Whether those rules represent language, code, or something entirely different remains uncertain. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the Voynich Manuscript is not the book itself. It is the people it continues to attract. Every year, historians, linguists, mathematicians, computer scientists, amateur code breakers, and curious readers return to its pages. Each believes they may notice something previous generations overlooked. Most leave with more questions than answers. And perhaps that is exactly why the manuscript has survived in our imagination for so long. It represents one of the last great intellectual mysteries, a puzzle that cannot be solved simply by digging deeper into the ground or pointing a telescope toward the sky. Its answers, if they still exist, are already sitting in front of us, hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize a pattern that everyone else has missed. History has taught us an important lesson. Many mysteries once believed impossible to solve eventually yielded to patience, technology, and fresh perspectives. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs remained unread for nearly 15 centuries until the discovery of the Rosetta Stone. The mysterious script known as Linear B puzzled scholars for decades before it was finally deciphered. What once seemed impossible became understandable. Perhaps the Voynich Manuscript is waiting for its own Rosetta Stone, a forgotten letter, another manuscript, a buried archive, a single discovery capable of transforming meaningless symbols into readable words. Or perhaps no such key exists. Perhaps the knowledge needed to understand the manuscript disappeared centuries ago, lost through war, fire, disease, or the simple passage of time. If that is true, the book may remain forever beyond our understanding. Not because it is impossible to decode, but because part of the conversation has already been erased from history. In many ways, the Voynich Manuscript reminds us of something deeply human. Knowledge is fragile. Civilizations preserve ideas only as long as someone continues to teach them. Languages survive only while people continue speaking them. Libraries can vanish, records can burn, entire worlds of understanding can disappear within a single generation. Yet curiosity endures. Every unanswered question inspires another investigation. Every failed attempt encourages a better one. Perhaps that is the manuscript's greatest gift. Not the answers it contains, but the questions it continues to ask. Because sometimes, the most valuable discoveries are not the mysteries we solve. They are the mysteries that inspire us to keep searching. And somewhere within those faded pages, written by an unknown hand more than 600 years ago, the truth still waits. Silent, patient, unread, until the day someone finally learns how to listen.